It's February, the season for two things no weeaboo has ever taken part in: sports and finding love. While happy couples frolic about and mongrel Super Bowl fans scream with glee at the thought of a guy throwing a ball at another guy, melancholy manga readers stay inside contemplating their own existence and reading Berserk. February is the one time a year that amidst all the bickering of the anime community, we can all come together in harmony and agree on one thing: sports and romance are gross. So today I've come here to talk about Blue Box, a rom-com sports manga by Koji Miura about playing badminton and falling in love.
Teacher, didn't you just say that?
Our protagonist, Taiki no Mata, is an aspiring badminton player about to enter his first year of high school. Armed with all the obligatory drive of a shonen protagonist and about a third of the charisma, every morning Taiki arrives to his school gym early for two reasons: to get some well-needed practice in with the high school badminton team, and also to see her. Chinatsu Kano is the beautiful upperclassman basketball champion of Aimi Junior Senior High School. She's gorgeous, popular, talented, and way out of his league. Taiki is far from the only guy to take notice of Chinatsu, which has reduced him to one of many in the vast sea of barking Twitter soy boys vying for Chinatsu's attention. So what makes Taiki special if everyone already thinks she's pretty? About a year ago, all sports practices were canceled. The girls' basketball team had just undergone a devastating loss in their final game of middle school. No one was supposed to be in the school gym, so Taiki saw it as a good opportunity as any to get some practice in. He seemingly had the whole place to himself, all except for her. After losing and being humiliated in her last chance to go to middle school nationals, Chinatsu was still there. After every teammate had gone home to wallow in their defeat, Chinatsu stayed in that gymnasium the entire time. Even at her lowest point, Chinatsu has a persistent aura that perseveres in the face of failure. This is why Taiki fell for her. This unwavering passion inspires Taiki to put in the work to reach his own goals, same as her. And what's gonna stop them besides Chinatsu's entire family moving overseas in March?
Homie, what?
Taiki instantly darts over to the gymnasium to get an explanation on what in Araki's name is happening. He cries out to Chinatsu that she can't give up her dream of going to high school nationals yet, even if it's out of her control. She can't let something as trivial as that ruin her ambition. And we find out Chinatsu isn't moving. She's staying in Japan with a family friend. I'll run that back.
Taiki just screamed a cheesy anime boy speech to his unrequited love of 2 years. For nothing!
And when our mans realizes this, he's down bad. No, down terrible. You simply cannot recover from taking an L that large. So Taiki does what any of us would have. He meanders downstairs to eat his nutritious sad boy breakfast, only to see Chinatsu standing in the middle of his living room. You know how earlier I mentioned Chinatsu will be staying with a family friend?
That family friend was Taiki's mom.
This means, starting March, Taiki and Chinatsu will be living together under the same roof. With a premise this anime, most would assume that this story devolves into the Chad Taiki getting an all-you-can-eat buffet of fan service.
But by the grace of God, this manga's a grounded romance.
While Taiki may be one wall away from his crush at all times, emotionally, he's a stratosphere away from even talking to her. Koji Miura could have simply settled for an unrealistic, lazy set of scenarios for Taiki to navigate, but she spends time to lovingly craft interactions that anyone else could find themselves in with their own crush. He's not a blank self-insert. Our protagonist overthinks minute social signals, gets flustered over cute glances, and gets jealous of other guys because of how deeply human he is. This romantic subtlety is the secret sauce to Blue Box's diabetically sweet rom-com cake. And you know what else is cute?
Not being horny.
I've been here a while. You know how many anime and manga I've seen bogged down by this disgusting epidemic we call ecchi? Look, boys, I'm a cultured enough man to know that there's a time and place for this stuff, but it is not here. Can we not just enjoy a wholesome vanilla romance without any booba for once? There are shows where it's part of the plot, but half the time it feels like I'm watching a borderline hentai scene just so I can get some good Christian anime feels. This is what made Blue Box so damn refreshing. I don't have to worry about Taiki walking in on Chinatsu changing and getting comically slapped in the face. We don't have a damn Hot Springs chapter because they're too busy on the grind. This brings us to Blue Box's next strength. It's a sports manga. Fun fact, I don't like sports manga. I avoid haiku like the plague due to reservations in my personal life, and I've never been given a good pitch to advocate for a sports series. I only discovered Blue Box by reading it on a whim the day Shonen Jump released it on their app. But this hesitation left me vulnerable to what was coming. Taiki wasn't born yoked with Shonen Protag strength, and he couldn't solve the problem by eating fruit, hair, or fingers. He's equipped with 5 dozen eggs and passionate worth ethic like the rest of us. This is what makes watching Taiki's journey Taiki's so remarkable. Every match Taiki loses,
Oh boy, does he lose.
he gets back up and keeps charging forward without a second to waste. This is what makes Taiki so inspiring. I may not relate to playing a sport, but you know damn well I'm gonna be clapping for Taiki after he lands a hit he's been trying for 10 chapters, or survives another outlandish workout regimen that Haru set for him. This universal passion to improve is what makes Blue Box and any manga like it applicable to anyone. Blue Box could have just been a story about a boy who plays badminton, but it just as easily could have been about a guy who wants to get to know a girl he likes. Blue Box's true strength is in how it multiclasses two entirely different genres seamlessly. Taiki doesn't disregard his hobbies because he has a crush, but he also doesn't ignore the part of him that says,
I want to marry this baddie.
he clenches his butt, grits his teeth, and says, okay, I'ma do both. We see too much manga that has a romantic subplot haphazardly forced in by an editor, but Blue Box effortlessly balances these two key elements while individually playing them to near perfection. On top of this, the two sides of the manga are one and the same, because in Taiki's mind, if I can't go to nationals, how's Chinatsu gonna think highly of me so she can date me? If I can't date Chinatsu, how am I gonna have motivation to go to nationals? If I can't go to nationals, then if that wasn't enough, seemingly standard shonen battle stakes get set sky high. For example, Taiki will be subbing in for Haru's singles match next week. Taiki's gonna have to beat this rowdy jerkhole named Ichido who's been talking a bunch of smack and needs to be put in his place. And you know, to raise the stakes a bit, if Taiki loses,
Ichido gets Chinatsu's phone number.
In conclusion, Blue Box ranks among certified hood classic manga due to its effortlessly graceful versatility and tactful understanding of multiple genres. On top of the excellent subtle art direction that I could do an entire video on, Koji Miyoda treats us every week to an absolute delight with her vast array of realistic and relatable interactions and inspirational shonen hype. This story truly isn't getting enough love here in the West, and when this story inevitably blows up in the States, I'll be the first to proudly proclaim my love for this series since day one. I know I only have like 3 subscribers I don't know in real life, but if any of you guys have manga recommendations, send them my way. Might do a video on them. The Attack on Titan video I say did really well, and I appreciate it. So why don't you treat yourself to something sweet this season? Read Blue Box.